Welcome, explorers, to Under Baobab Skies. Tonight, we're embarking on an incredible journey, far beyond the beaten path, to a place where history isn't just written. It's built asterisk with the very earth beneath our feet. We're traveling to the ancient town of Djenne, nestled deep in the heart of Mali, where the clay itself remembers every touch, every prayer, every struggle. This isn't just dirt, it's alive. It swells in the scorching heat, cracks under the weight of relentless labor, and whispers secrets that have been held captive beneath sun and fire for centuries. Now, Djenne is famous, truly legendary, across the entire Sahel region for its magnificent Grand Mosque. It's a breathtaking masterpiece of sun-dried mud bricks, rising from the flat plains like a dream, meticulously etched in clay. But what often gets lost in the awe of these colossal walls are the individual lives, the countless hands that molded them. I'm talking about the kiln workers, whose muscles are taut with effort, whose faces are streaked with sweat and dust, painting a picture of sheer dedication. Every single brick they lay carries a story, a memory, a piece of their soul. And every scaffolding plank, it trembles, not just with weight, but with the echo of human toil. Imagine this, the quiet hours just before dawn. The town starts to hum with a unique kind of preparation. Fires are being stoked beneath the massive kilns, sending plumes of smoke curling into the pre-dawn sky. You can smell it, the distinct, earthy scent of warming clay drifting across courtyards, mixing with the cool morning air. Children are just stirring in their homes, inhaling this scent of smoke mingled with the very earth, completely unaware that the same clay they'll playfully shape into figures later today has been sung to, cursed, blessed, and prayed over just hours before. Look closely, you might see the early morning light softly touching their mud-smeared faces as they gather, ready for another day. It's a truly humbling sight. These artisans, they move with a rhythm that's almost hypnotic. It's not just about training. It's tradition, a lineage of knowledge passed down through countless generations, from father to son, from mother to daughter. Every precise strike of the trowel, every single brick carefully placed, it's more than just construction. It's a gesture in a sacred, age-old dance, a profound dialogue between human will and the surprisingly stubborn resistance of the earth. Yet, for all its profound beauty, this labor, this art, carries very real risks. Scaffolds, made often from wood, can collapse. Bricks can burn unevenly in the intense heat. And there's a saying here, the clay, they say, remembers mistakes. Heat stroke is a constant, ever-present danger, and the eyes of the overseers are always sharp, always watching. Superstition, in this ancient place, rules as much as skill. They believe the kiln can curse the careless, and the stubborn often pay a steep price in sweat, in blood, and in quiet, unseen sorrow. Watch as workers hoist bricks onto the scaffolding, their movements fluid and practiced. See the kiln fires glowing a deep, mesmerizing orange, pulsing with heat. And look, elders, their faces etched with wisdom, watch carefully from the courtyard edge, overseeing not just the work, but the tradition. The entire town of Djenne itself is a magnificent tapestry of history. Its streets wind and curve like the ancient lines of an old scroll, each alleyway whispering secrets that have stood the test of time. Merchants set up their stalls early, bringing in grains, exotic spices, and essential tools. The air is filled with a symphony of sounds, the murmur of conversation, the rhythmic hammering, occasional shouts, and that beautiful, innocent laughter of a child who hasn't yet learned to fear the fire that forges their world. As we settle together now, here beneath our imagined baobab, let's truly listen. The earth itself is speaking. through the steady, powerful rhythm of the kiln, through the intricate bends and ancient cracks of these mud walls. It tells us stories. Stories of deep devotion, immense sacrifice, and the subtle, incredible power of clay that literally breathes life into this town. Tonight, we're not just observing, we're following these stories of the dedicated workers, the visionary builders, the dreamers. And through them, we begin to truly understand the profound soul of Djenne. Take a moment to just soak it all in. Look at this wide, sweeping dusk view of Djenne. See how the mud houses glow with the warm lamplight filtering from within. And watch the workers, their forms silhouetted against the fiery glow of the kilns. It's a scene you won't soon forget. Let's pause just for a moment. Can you hear it? The fire crackles gently, a comforting sound as the night breathes around us. Listen closely for the soft sigh of the wind as it whispers over the ancient mud bricks. The distant barking of dogs in the quiet darkness, and the faint, almost imperceptible shuffle of feet across sun-baked courtyards. These aren't just random noises. These are the sounds of a town truly alive. A town holding its deepest secrets in the still, peaceful embrace of night. Tonight, we aren't merely observers looking in from the outside. We're walking alongside the workers, feeling the sting of the sun on our skin, smelling the rich, wet earthiness of the clay, and sensing the sheer weight of human effort pressed into every single brick. These walls aren't inert, lifeless structures. They are powerful vessels of memory, of struggle, and ultimately of triumph. And so, my friends, our incredible journey begins. Across the glowing courtyards, through the shadowed winding alleys, deep into the sweat and fire of the kilns, we will meet those whose hands built Djenne, whose spirits shaped it, and whose untold stories are etched into every single brick. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible adventure. If you enjoyed this journey to Djenne, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more stories from around the world, and share this with anyone who loves a good tale. You are now under baobab skies, and the story begins now. Today, we're taking a journey to a truly extraordinary place, Djenne, Mali. You know, when we see a beautiful building, we often admire its architecture, but rarely do we think about the hands that crafted its very foundation. That's what we're going to explore today, specifically the incredible, and sometimes dangerous, daily life of brickmakers in Djenne. By the end of this segment, you'll understand not just the physical labor, but the rich tapestry of beliefs and wisdom woven into every single brick. All right, let's dive into the fascinating world of Djenne's brickmakers. This is a story of incredible resilience, deep tradition, and the very earth itself. Get ready to feel the heat and hear the whispers of the clay. Imagine the scene. The sun is just beginning to kiss the ancient city of Djenne. Golden light spills across courtyards, painting everything in a warm, ethereal glow. But long before the city fully wakes, the brickmakers are already there, at their posts, their arms streaked with the rich, red clay, muscles taut, eyes squinting against that rising sun. The air around them isn't still. It hums with warmth, almost like a living presence. It's the kilns, breathing, exhaling gentle waves of warm air, making you feel as if the very clay beneath your feet has a pulse. Every single brick here carries a weight far beyond its physical bulk. To lift one isn't just a physical act. It's an act of respect, honoring the generations of labor that have come before. These aren't just building blocks. They're pieces of history, molded by tradition. But with such profound work comes profound risk. One misstep and scaffolding can collapse in a thunderous roar. A moment's inattention, and the kill's fierce, hungry fire can claim a hand, a face, or even worse, a life. It's a reality that breeds caution, and it also fosters a rich oral tradition. Among the workers, stories circulate like the wind, tales of bricks that have remembered mistakes. They say those who scorned the sacred rituals of brickmaking or dared to mock the clay itself would feel its wrath. It's as if the earth punishes insolence with searing heat and sudden injury. These aren't just cautionary tales. They're deeply ingrained beliefs that shape how every worker approaches their craft. The overseers here aren't just managers. They're guardians of both the craft and the tradition. They pace the yard, their eyes sharp as hawks, missing nothing. Their voices carry across the busy yard, not just barking orders, but delivering warnings laced with ancient superstition. The clay sees, they whisper. It remembers, it speaks to Seedy, the killmaster. These aren't idle words, they hold real weight. Accidents are frequent in this demanding environment, and every collapse, every misfire, every brick that cracks is often interpreted as the clay's judgment, a sign that someone, somewhere, has displeased the earth. It creates an atmosphere of deep respect and profound humility. Amidst this intense labor, a different kind of sound echoes softly, chants. The workers murmur to each other, invoking blessings upon the bricks they shape, upon their own steady hands, asking for cool heads in the scorching heat, and for the mercy of the earth spirits. Even the children, sent to fetch water, tiptoe past the roaring fires. They learn early that the kill is a formidable presence, both a harsh teacher and a terrifying force. It's a powerful lesson in respect for nature and tradition, learned not from books, but from life itself. The heat in Djenne is relentless. It wraps around the workers like a second skin, clinging to them from dawn till dusk. Sweat beads on their foreheads, drips into the coarse cloth of their tunics, and even falls, mixing with the very clay they mold. The air itself is thick with the smell of wet earth mixed with smoke, an intoxicating, almost oppressive aroma that is the very essence of their workplace. Sometimes, a worker, overcome by the strain, will fall into the scant shade for a moment, leaning against the edge of a kiln, tasting air that is simply too hot to breathe. It's an environment that pushes the human body to its limits. But despite the incredible strain, there's a distinct rhythm here, a quiet understanding that labor and survival are intertwined in an unbreakable bond. Every action is precise, every movement economical. The bricks are stacked with almost unbelievable precision, aligned by eye and muscle memory honed over years, even generations. The kilns, in response, roar and swell with life. Each flame a small sun, demanding respect and careful attention. It's a dance between human effort and elemental power. Let's pause for a moment, just as the sun begins its slow descent. The fire crackles gently, a counterpoint to the soft sigh of the night breathing around us. The air, now cooler, still carries the lingering scents of wet clay, wood smoke, and the day's sweat. A bird flutters across the courtyard, its delicate sound a stark contrast to the earlier roar of labor. It's a moment of reflection in a demanding day. In this quiet transition, you'll see the delicate balance of their work. Some bricks crack under the intense heat of the kiln, while others blister in the harsh sun. When this happens, a worker might murmur a quiet prayer, tracing a finger along the fissure, asking forgiveness from the earth. These small, deeply personal rituals, passed down silently through families and generations, preserve both safety and dignity. They are a profound line of understanding, a respectful dialogue between human and clay. The Killmasters, these guardians of fire, move with deliberate, almost sacred care. Every single flame must be tended, every ember watched with unwavering attention. A slight misjudgment, a moment of laxity, could quickly spread disaster, consuming not just the bricks, but potentially lives and livelihoods. In Djenne, disaster is always personal. It affects the entire community. Yet, even as they sweat and toil, the workers share stories, whispered legends of the kill itself. Tales of bricks that sang when shaped correctly, filled with life and purpose, and of mistakes that screamed when ignored, bringing misfortune. It's a living history, told through the very materials they work with. Here, amidst the intense heat and the ever-present dust, the rhythm of Djenne's life continues, a cadence of incredible resilience and deep reverence. To be a kill worker in Djenne is to be incredibly close to creation itself. It's to dance with fire and earth in a careful, precarious balance, a delicate yet powerful interplay. Every brick laid, every kill stoked, carries the echoes of centuries, the very breath of ancestors, and the silent, enduring witness of the clay itself. It's more than a job. It's a living tradition. It's truly incredible, isn't it? The sheer dedication, the profound connection to their craft, and the deep respect for the earth that these brickmakers embody every single day. Their work isn't just about constructing buildings. It's about building a legacy, piece by painstaking piece, filled with story and spirit. All right, let's dive back into the heart of Djenne, where the sun is climbing higher, painting everything in shades of gold and shadow. You can practically feel the air growing thicker, hotter, as the morning advances. Those kilns, they're not just structures. They're breathing, alive, radiating an intense heat that makes each and every brick feel heavier than the last. It's like they're not just carrying earth, but the unspoken weight of generations of expectation. Look closely, and you'll see the workers. Their movements almost a slow dance as they climb the scaffolding. Every step is deliberate, careful, as the planks beneath them creak a symphony of strain from both the body and the heavy loads they bear. It's a precarious ballet, high above the ground, where a single misstep could mean disaster. In the quieter corners of the bustling courtyard, you'll find the elders. Their eyes, sharp and wise, track every movement of the younger generation. They're not just watching. They're analyzing, noting every precise placement, every hint of fatigue. Because, out here, a misplaced brick, a tiny slip of the hand, it's not just a mistake. It's a potential chain reaction, a tumble, a searing burn, a scream that could echo across the entire yard. Yet, despite the inherent danger, each worker presses on, propelled by the relentless rhythm of the day. It's a silent promise they keep. A deep understanding that their labor doesn't just sustain the magnificent mosque, but also the very dignity of their families. It's a powerful motivation, isn't it? You can practically taste the air, thick with the scent of heat and clay, clinging to skin, soaking into clothes. Sweat isn't just trickling. It's falling in rivulets, mixing with the mud, turning the ground slick and treacherous underfoot. Hands ache, backs strain, muscles scream in protest. But amidst this physical torment, something remarkable happens. A communal rhythm emerges, a steady beat that somehow tames the chaos. The workers, they're not just moving bricks, they're chanting softly, a low hum as they lift, pass, and stack. It's a cadence, a melody learned not from sheet music, but from generations of kin, of neighbors. It's more than just a work song. It's both a prayer and a protocol, a deeply ingrained method of survival in the face of this relentless, demanding labor. And then there's the kill itself. Honestly, it feels like a living, breathing entity. Flames leap out unexpectedly, like fiery tongues licking at the wooden scaffolds. Smoke billows upward, carrying that pungent, earthy scent of wet clay, a smell that's both ancient and new. The young, the inexperienced, you see them flinch at each sudden flare, their eyes wide. They learn quickly, sometimes painfully, that hesitation here can be fatal. But even in the midst of this danger, there's a quiet pride that takes root. The knowledge that if handled with absolute care, these bricks will rise, perfect and true. And perfection, in this world, is its own profound reward. Just imagine, for a moment, the close-up of those hands gripping the rough surface of the bricks, calloused and strong. The way the flames dance and lick at the very wooden structure that supports them. And those faces, streaked with clay and sweat, tense with concentration, yet holding an unwavering focus. It's a testament to human resilience, isn't it? Not every brick makes it, though. Some shatter even before they leave the kiln, succumbing to the intense heat or a slight misalignment. It's a heartbreaking sight, but the masters, they understand. They gently separate these broken pieces from the perfect ones, murmuring words of advice, cautionary tales to the novices. These shattered bricks, they're more than just waste. They're stark reminders of mortality, of the fragile boundary that exists between human skill and nature's sometimes indifferent power. And yet, the work doesn't stop. It continues, a never-ending cycle. There's this incredible hush that falls over the courtyard in mid-morning, almost as if the sun itself pauses its journey to simply witness the sheer effort unfolding below. In this profound silence, the faint creaking of the scaffolds, the soft, rhythmic thump of bricks being laid, everything is magnified. Conversations are minimal, almost whispered. Focus is absolute, a tangible force in the air. Even the wind seems to hold its breath, carrying just the dust, but not the chaos. Let's just pause for a moment with them, shall we? Imagine the gentle crackle of the fire, the night breathing around you. A small bird, perhaps, alights briefly atop a scaffold, its tiny body dwarfed by the immense heat and height. The workers, they glance up, offer a quiet nod to the universe, and then, without missing a beat, return to their rhythm, the rhythm of hand, brick, and flame. It's a powerful image, one that speaks volumes about connection and resilience. Among these laborers, stories circulate in hushed whispers, tales of those who misjudged the kill's fierce temper and, well, simply vanished from the worksite, leaving behind only their tools. Legends of bricks that, they say, sang when they were perfectly aligned, resonating with a pure tone. And then there are the warnings, dire warnings of the kill's wrath for anyone foolish enough to mock the fire, to disrespect its power. These aren't just old wives' tales. These oral traditions are as vital as the very tools in their hands. They're a moral compass woven into the very fabric of mud and sweat, guiding their actions and shaping their understanding of the world. Even with all this hardship, you'll still hear laughter. It's brief, almost hidden, bubbling up between the strains of intense labor. These are shared moments of humor, of recognition, of deep empathy that knit these workers together into an unbreakable whole. Their bonds aren't just forged in friendship. They're forged in clay, in fire, and in an enduring spirit that makes their community stronger than the kiln itself. They're not just laboring for the mosque, not just for their daily sustenance, but for each other. Every single brick becomes a testament to their collective perseverance, a monument to their shared humanity. As the day drifts toward noon, that sun, it beats down relentlessly. You see some falter under the intense heat, leaning against walls, their chests heaving, struggling for breath. That's when the masters step in, offering water. The younger workers drink deeply, greedily, feeling that blessed coolness flow through them, a temporary, precious reprieve. The kiln, they know, does not forgive laziness, but it absolutely honors preparation, resilience, and respect. It's a harsh but fair teacher, demanding the best from everyone. And so the cycle continues, day after day, bricks lifted with care, stacked with precision, smoothed with practiced hands. Scaffolds are climbed, fires are tended with constant vigilance, and sweat is shed, an offering to the earth and the sky. Every single movement is measured, every glance deliberate, full of purpose. The day's labor isn't just shaping the magnificent mosque, it's shaping the very people themselves, their muscles growing stronger, their patience deepening, their courage expanding, and their capacity for cooperation becoming an art form. The kiln, it breathes on, a primal force utterly indifferent to fatigue or fear. Yet, it's in this very shared effort that the workers find something profound, purpose, a powerful rhythm that governs their lives, and even a quiet, undeniable dignity. They are the unseen architects of Djenne's breathtaking beauty. Their relentless toil immortalized in every single brick that will endure for centuries, long after their own lives have passed. It's a legacy forged in fire and earth, a story written in mud and sweat. Ancient traditions meet raw power, where clay isn't just mud, but a living, breathing entity with a spirit all its own. We're diving deep into the heart of Djenne, Mali, to uncover the mystical and cautionary tales surrounding its legendary kilns, places where accidents, spirits, and ancient superstitions weave together to create a truly captivating story. Imagine the sun dipping low, casting long, dramatic shadows across a bustling courtyard. The air is thick with dust, sweat, and the unyielding heat from a massive kiln. The day's hard work is far from over. Here, in Djenne, the workers don't just see bricks. They see a relationship, an understanding with the very earth beneath their feet. Stories of the kiln's temper aren't just idle gossip. They're whispered warnings, passed down through generations, meant to ward off calamity. To these artisans, the clay, though seemingly inert, is vibrantly alive in their imaginations. It remembers every touch, every misstep, every slight. It truly is a living, breathing entity. The workers speak cautiously, almost reverently, of the kiln's curse. This isn't just a modern concept. It's as ancient as Djenne itself. When bricks crack unexpectedly, when scaffolds groan and collapse without warning, or when flames roar beyond all reason, they aren't attributed to human error. Oh no, these events are seen as the work of a spirit residing within the clay itself. Misfortune, they believe, is never random. The kiln, in its infinite wisdom, punishes carelessness and hubris with an iron fist. It demands respect, and it gets it. I once heard a tale from an elder here, a man whose hands have known the touch of clay for decades. He recounted the story of a young apprentice, full of youthful bravado, who dared to mock the clay. He laughed at its stubbornness, its seeming resistance to his will. One evening, as this apprentice carried a heavy load of bricks up a precarious scaffold, the wood beneath him shifted. In a terrifying moment, he tumbled into the smouldering ashes below. His cries, sharp and desperate, were carried on the wind, mingling with the crackle of the fire and the acrid scent of burnt clay. From that day on, the kiln was treated with a reverence that bordered on genuine fear. It was a stark lesson, etched not just in memory, but in the very fabric of their work. But superstition isn't just about fear. It's intricately intertwined with skill. These laborers have developed a complex tapestry of rituals to appease the clay. We see them making gestures of profound respect, hear murmured prayers offered like incense, and observe small, humble offerings left at the kiln's edge. These aren't just for protection. They cultivate an acute attentiveness. Every movement, every decision, from stacking the raw clay to carefully monitoring the fire, is guided by the profound awareness that the clay is unpredictable. That fire, their friend and tool, can turn foe in an instant. It's a delicate dance, a constant negotiation with powerful, primal forces and the legends. They truly flourish at night, long after the physical labor is done. But while the heat from the kiln still lingers in the air, some claim that at twilight the kiln breathes. It's a subtle exhalation of warmth and a unique scent, carrying with it the memories of every hand that has shaped its bricks, every story told within its glow. Others swear they hear whispers floating through the evening air, the voices of those lost, perhaps warning the living to always, always respect the fire and the mud. It's an ancient chorus, an ongoing conversation between the present and the past. Accidents, though thankfully rare, are stark, brutal reminders that the kiln is both incredibly generous and incredibly exacting. A misplaced brick, a seemingly small error, can compromise the integrity of an entire wall. A momentary lapse in concentration can lead to severe burns, or even worse. The curse, then, isn't just some mystical force. It's a deeply codified respect for the elements, for the craft itself. It's a set of rules, of cautions, passed down through generations, ensuring survival and success in a challenging and dangerous profession. It's wisdom cloaked in mystery. Let's just pause for a moment. Imagine the crackle of the fire gently accompanying the breathing night around us. A distant wind carries the faint, sweet scent of cooling clay. The shadows of the last workers linger on the ancient walls. Their tired, stoic forms a powerful testament to human endurance and profound humility. You can almost feel the weight of history in the air. Yet, life, as it always does, continues. By dusk, the bricks are carefully stacked for cooling. They're still warm to the touch, glowing softly with a deep, earthy orange in the fading light. Apprentices and masters alike move with practiced grace, inspecting every single piece. There are nods of approval for perfection and thoughtful frowns for imperfection. The kiln, it seems, has its own silent, powerful judgment, a final say on the day's efforts. But let's not forget, these stories of the kiln's spirits aren't confined solely to cautionary tales. Some speak of profound inspiration, of sudden, almost supernatural insights into patterns, proportions, or techniques that allow the magnificent mosque to rise higher, stronger, and more beautiful. The clay, they say, rewards those who honor it with diligence and genuine care. In that sense, the curse is also a blessing, a powerful, ever-present reminder that true creation demands meticulous attention, profound humility, and an unwavering respect for forces that are far beyond mere human control. It teaches patience, resilience, and the beauty of working in harmony with nature. The night draws on, and the courtyard gradually empties, save for a few dedicated caretakers who quietly stoke the dying embers of the kiln. The air cools, a refreshing balm after the day's heat. But the memory of that intense warmth lingers on their skin and in their dreams. Workers return to their homes, carrying with them not just the fatigue of labor, but the immense pride of their craft, and the quiet, unwavering reverence instilled in them by the clay and the fire. It's a feeling that resonates deep within their souls. As the last light finally fades, the kiln of Djenne seems to settle into a profound silence. Yet, the whispers of its spirits persist, echoing in the stillness. The curse, the blessing, the relentless toil, and the powerful communal spirit all converge here. forming the very foundation not only of the mosque's physical walls, but also of a vibrant, living cultural memory. The workers sleep soundly, dreaming of clay that breathes, of fires that teach profound lessons, and of bricks that will endure, beautiful and strong through countless centuries. And so, the cycle continues, as it has for generations. Dawn will break once more, scaffolds will rise again to meet the sky, skilled hands will shape the earth, and the kiln will breathe its fiery breath again. The curse, like the fire itself, is not a punishment, but a teacher, relentless, patient, and truly eternal. It's a timeless lesson in respect, skill, and the enduring power of human spirit. Imagine a city born from mud and water, a place where ancient traditions aren't just remembered, they're lived every single day. And at the heart of this incredible landscape stands an architectural marvel, built against all odds by a genius whose vision went far beyond what most of us can even imagine. We're talking about Djenne, and the incredible, inspiring tale of its blind builder. This isn't just a story about architecture. It's a profound lesson in how determination, intuition, and an unbreakable spirit can defy every limitation. So, grab a warm drink, settle in, and prepare to be moved as we uncover the legend of the man who, without sight, gave Djenne its eyes. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new here, because stories like these deserve to be shared. By the banks of the Bonny River, where the earth and water dance in a timeless embrace, our story truly begins. It's here that the legend of the blind builder took root. He wasn't remembered for seeing the world through conventional eyes, but for sensing it, for feeling the subtle shifts of clay beneath his hands, for listening to the Hotchian rhythm of the river, for hearing the whisper of the wind against his scaffolds. Where physical sight failed him, touch, memory, and an extraordinary intuition didn't just flourish. They became his superpowers. The people of Djenne, in their reverence, came to call him the Eyes of the City. Can you imagine that? A blind man called the Eyes of a City, for it was he who meticulously directed every hand, calculated every measurement, and conceived architectural forms that truly defied the ordinary. There were many who, unfortunately, scoffed at his disability, who doubted his capacity to build anything significant. But under his unwavering guidance, the magnificent Great Mosque of Djenne didn't just rise. It soared layer by layer, brick by painstaking brick, transforming into an architectural marvel that has outlasted empires and continues to stand proudly today. His methods were truly revolutionary. Laborers learned to move by his unique rhythm, a rhythm born from a profound connection to the materials. Every single brick placed wasn't just aligned by sight, but by the nuanced sense of touch and the specific sound it made. The hollow echo of clay struck in perfect rhythm, the soft whisper of scaffolding settling under its weight. Apprentices under him didn't just learn construction techniques, they absorbed patience, they mastered precision, and they came to understand the secret, living language of mud itself. Let's just pause for a moment and picture this scene. The Bonny River hums softly in the background as the sun slowly climbs into the sky. The rich, earthy scent of wet clay fills the air, deep and grounding, and the long, quiet shadows of the scaffolds stretch across the courtyard, like silent, ancient witnesses to every careful, deliberate movement. It's a picture of dedication, isn't it? It was often said that the blind builder possessed an uncanny ability to see the structural soul of a building. A single misplaced brick, even the slightest deviation, would echo in his remarkable memory, and he would correct it. Not with anger or frustration, but with a quiet, firm insistence, guiding hands back to perfection. His methods were truly unconventional, yet undeniably effective. A powerful blend of pure instinct, rich storytelling, and a rigorous adherence to tradition. He didn't just build structures, he built trust and understanding. The legend goes even further, telling of nights when he would walk the incomplete mosque alone. His sensitive fingers would trace walls that weren't yet finished, feeling their textures, their cool surfaces. He wasn't just touching bricks. He was speaking to them, to the very clay, offering profound respect, and sometimes asking forgiveness for any human error that might have occurred. He understood the Kiln's fierce power, that its occasional curses couldn't always be avoided, but they could be acknowledged, understood, and in doing so, they became an integral part of the building's living memory, its story. Apprentices would often recount strange, almost mystical phenomena, bricks subtly shifting into place overnight, shadows bending in unusual ways, or soft whispers that seemed to guide their hands to the right spot. Some people genuinely believed that the blind builder had a deep communion with the spirits of the mud, that through him, the kiln and the clay themselves found a voice to speak to the people. His blindness, far from being a hindrance, was seen as a conduit, a sacred bridge connecting human craftsmanship with the ancient, powerful will of the earth. Despite this incredible gift and his profound connection, challenges were an ever-present reality. Scaffolds sometimes wobbled precariously, bricks occasionally cracked under the intense sun, and the relentless heat threatened to wilt even the hardiest laborer. But through it all, the blind builder's calm, rhythmic instructions were a steadying force for every worker. He taught them not just to build, but to truly listen, to deeply feel, to understand the nuanced temperament of the clay. Mistakes were never punished harshly. Instead, they were transformed into invaluable lessons, opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. Stories of his extraordinary ingenuity spread like wildfire, far beyond the confines of Djenne. Traders, curious travelers, and neighboring communities would arrive and marvel at the breathtaking sight of the mosque's soaring mud towers. Most were completely unaware that the true genius behind this incredible creation could unsee the world in a conventional sense. Yet, the blind builder knew every single curve, every grand arch, every intricate decorative ridge. He had memorized it all, as if the entire city spoke a unique language that only he could truly hear and comprehend. Let's take another moment to just visualize. The bonny river now reflects the fading light of dusk. The bricks begin to cool under the gentle evening breeze, and the faint, rhythmic sound of hammering continues a steady pulse, echoing the very heartbeat of the city itself. It's a symphony of building, of life. Evenings, after a long day of labor, were reserved for deep reflection and profound teaching. By the warm glow of firelight, the blind builder would gather his apprentices and weave stories into the very fabric of the construction itself. Tales of revered ancestors, of benevolent spirits, and of the eternal cycles of the river that sustained their lives. These narratives weren't just mere folklore. They were powerful guides that informed measurements, reinforced critical principles of construction, and instilled a deep, abiding reverence for the sacred material, for the craft, and for the collective communal effort that brought it all to life. Through countless seasons of torrential rain and relentless drought, his hands, guided by an inner vision, continued to shape and direct the work, creating breathtaking harmony from what might otherwise have been chaos. And though his physical eyes could not see, the majestic mosque stood and still stands as undeniable proof that true vision is not merely ocular, It is a profound comprehension of balance, an unwavering patience, and a deep inherent respect for both the material world and the indomitable spirit within us all. The blind builder's story, my friends, is a powerful, timeless lesson in resilience. He teaches us that limitations, rather than diminishing genius, often redirect its course, pushing it towards innovative and unexpected paths. He shows us that human ingenuity, when coupled with humility and an extraordinary attentiveness to the world around us, can construct monuments that not only stand strong through the ages, but also speak across centuries, telling tales of what's truly possible. As the sun sets over the serene Bonnie, casting long, dramatic shadows across those magnificent mud towers, the blind builder's spirit is still palpable. You can feel it in every ridge, in every perfectly placed brick. It's as if he's whispering to those who continue the work, guiding them with his timeless wisdom. Respect the clay, honor the craft, and listen, truly listen, to the profound silence between the sounds. Long before the iconic Great Mosque of Djenne graced the Malian skyline, long before Islam even reached these shores, there lay another city, a metropolis so ancient, so deeply rooted in the earth and river, that its very memory feels woven into the landscape itself. We're talking about Djenne, a name that, for centuries, has evoked images of a place where clay and water weren't just building materials, but partners in an eternal embrace. Imagine streets, now silenced beneath the Bonnie River's floodplain, that once echoed with the vibrant rhythms of trade, the hum of conversations, and the sacred chants of rituals. Archaeologists and the wise elders of the region often speak of Djenne in terms of layers. Not just physical layers, but layers of history, of habitation, of bustling commerce, and profound ceremony. This wasn't just a collection of buildings. This city was alive, and not just with people, but with stories, literally embedded in the mud itself. Think about it. The tiny footprints of children pressed into drying clay, the deep furrows left by traders. Carts as they moved through the streets, and the unmistakable fingerprints of master craftsmen who meticulously shaped walls and granaries with hands worn smooth by generations of tireless labor. Every brick, every pot, every pathway held a piece of their lives. But, as we all know, time is a master of duality. It's both a magnificent creator and an inevitable destroyer. For Djenne, the seasonal floods of the Bonnie River were a constant presence. These waters, which also sustained life, would claim streets and courtyards, transforming bustling avenues into serene, shallow lakes. Clay structures, robust as they were, would gradually soften, then gently sink, sometimes leaving just the faintest hint of a roofline or an arch visible during periods of drought. The city, though physically submerged, never truly faded. It remained vibrant, alive, in the memories of those who spoke of it. A spectral landscape, yes, but one that offered profound lessons in impermanence and, perhaps more importantly, incredible resilience. Let's just pause for a moment and listen. Can you almost hear the gentle lapping of water at the riverbank? The soft rustle of reeds in the evening wind? It's as if the memory of footsteps, long silenced, still whispers from just beneath the surface. Stories passed down through oral tradition tell us of Djenne's ingenious planners. These were people who understood their environment intimately. They measured canals, built levees, and designed brickworks with an almost humbling understanding that, one day, the river would inevitably reclaim their work. They built with profound humility, acknowledging the river's immense power, Yet, paradoxically, they also built with daring confidence. They believed their legacy would endure not just in physical structures, but in stories, in the artifacts they left behind, and most powerfully, in the hearts of those who would come after them. They weren't just building for themselves, but for eternity, in their own way. Legends paint Djenne as a living organism. It was a place where clay and water, man and nature, were not separate entities, but intertwined in a delicate, vital balance. A balance maintained through tireless labor and deeply respected ritual. The everyday items, the pottery, the beads, the very mud brick houses themselves were not just practical necessities. They were conduits of memory, allowing future generations to literally touch the hands and traditions of their ancestors. Imagine holding a shard of pottery and feeling that connection. Yet, the floods, as we mentioned, were relentless. Over time, streets became canals, courtyards transformed into ponds, and entire neighborhoods slowly, inexorably, sank beneath the Bonnie's persistent flow. Some people, in their attempt to explain this powerful force of nature, suggested it was divine judgment. Others simply attributed it to the river's natural, powerful rhythms. But for the survivors, for the descendants, Djenne was never truly gone. Its enduring presence lingered in the ever-shifting patterns of the river, in the fertile mud used for new construction, and most profoundly, in the collective imagination of its people. Let's pause once more. Watch the river glisten under the moon, the reeds shimmer in the gentle breeze. Listen to the quiet hum of nocturnal life echoing over those submerged ruins. Can you almost feel the city's stories carried on the current, reaching out to those of us willing to truly listen? Artifacts recovered from later excavations, things like pottery shards, fragments of iron tools, and remnants of ancient homes, speak volumes. They paint a picture of an intricate, sophisticated society with a deep, practical understanding of trade, complex social organization, and a rich spiritual life. Though submerged, these objects became tangible, undeniable connections to a civilization that fundamentally taught its people to respect water, to respect clay, and crucially, to respect each other. The city also left an indelible spiritual imprint. Priests and elders still recount tales of hidden shrines, deep beneath the river, where ancient offerings to ancestors were made, and where whispered prayers were believed to be carried by the gentle current. Children were taught, from a very young age, that the water itself held memory, and that one could learn profound lessons of patience, reverence, and foresight simply by observing its quiet, persistent flow. This was more than just a city. It was a school of life. Flooded streets, in a profound way, became metaphors for life itself, a constant, powerful reminder that even the strongest, most meticulously built structures can be challenged and sometimes overcome by forces far beyond human control. Yet, Djenne also taught a powerful lesson in adaptability. Successive generations didn't just give up. They learned to rebuild, often on higher ground, to respect the river's ever-changing moods, and to meticulously weave their lives into the intricate patterns of clay and water. By the time Islam finally arrived on the region's shores, Djenne had already left much of its physical, material presence behind. But its essence, its spirit, its profound lessons absolutely survived. It directly influenced the planning and construction of Djenne itself and countless surrounding settlements. It guided builders for centuries, teaching them to balance ambitious dreams with a healthy dose of humility, and to always combine solid structure with the inherent fluidity of their natural world. And so, even though this incredible city lies hidden beneath layers of mud and water, its breath, the echoes of those ancient laborers, artisans, and priests, continues to rise with every single brick molded in the present day. It serves as a timeless reminder that civilization, for all its grandiosity, is both exquisitely fragile and remarkably enduring. And perhaps most importantly, it teaches us that the stories of those who came before us are never truly lost. They simply wait for us to listen. Let's take one last moment. Watch the moon cast its silver light across the Bonnie. See the shadows of reeds sway in the gentle current. And beneath it all, imagine those submerged streets murmuring softly. Murmurs of lives lived, of hard lessons learned, and of ancient clay that still remembers every touch, every story. Djenne's tale is not merely one of decay and loss, but profoundly one of incredible persistence. Though hidden from plain sight, its spirit continues to shape hearts, hands, and minds, serving as a powerful blueprint for all who strive to erect new monuments of clay, honoring the past while confidently embracing the present. What an amazing testament to human spirit and ingenuity. Think of it, within these homes, life moved at its own deliberate pace. You'd hear the soft rustle of pages, see the gentle glow of oil lamps illuminating intricate ink on parchment, and catch the murmured debates of brilliant minds deeply attuned to the cosmos. These weren't just houses. They were living, breathing repositories of learning. Libraries lined their walls, filled with the earthy scent of clay, fresh ink, and fragrant cedarwood. Imagine stacks upon stacks of manuscripts, densely inscribed in elegant Arabic and the local Songhay language. These weren't just ledgers of commerce or legal texts. They were treasure troves of poetry, detailed astronomical observations, ancient medical remedies, and the rich tapestry of Djenne's history. Scholars would gather here, cross-legged on woven mats, as the evening breeze drifted in, carrying the faint, soothing scent of the Niger River and the distant, familiar hum of the city settling down for the night. You can almost feel it, right? The air thick with knowledge and quiet contemplation. And these evenings, they often brought what they called manuscript parties. Now, don't picture a raucous, boisterous feast. These were subtle, intellectual celebrations. Picture this. A renowned poet recites verses that weave through the centuries. Someone proposes a complex mathematical puzzle, challenging the minds around them. Then, stories of revered ancestors' deeds are read aloud, their lessons echoing in the quiet room. Guests spoke in careful, hushed tones, showing deep respect for the sacred knowledge held within those delicate, fragile pages. Clay pots of warm tea were shared, along with simple, nourishing millet porridge, their warmth binding together the conversation and shared thoughts. But the learning didn't stop indoors. From the rooftop terraces of these very homes, the heavens themselves opened up their grandest lessons. Imagine astronomers, their eyes keenly fixed on the night sky, meticulously tracing the paths of stars, charting the ever-changing phases of the moon, and predicting the predictable arcs of planets like Jupiter and Saturn. These wasn't just abstract science. These celestial observations were incredibly practical. They guided the city's entire rhythm, determining planting cycles for optimal harvests, fixing the dates for important religious festivals, and even timing the safest river crossings for merchants and travelers. Knowledge, much like the mighty Niger River itself, flowed from careful observation to vital, practical application, shaping every aspect of Djenne's daily life. Let's just pause for a moment. The night is quiet now. Lanterns flicker gently, casting dancing shadows. The wind whispers through the clay city, carrying centuries of wisdom from these scholars right across Djenne's ancient streets. It's important to understand that while these elite scholars cultivated intellect, they weren't detached from the city's labor. In fact, they honored it. Though they didn't personally hold bricks or fire kilns, they played an indispensable role. They meticulously recorded the work, codified the precise methods, and ensured that this invaluable knowledge passed seamlessly from master to apprentice. The skills of the craftsmen were documented with incredible precision. Everything from the exact measurements of mud consistency to the perfect timing for sun-drying bricks. And even the sacred rituals that blessed each and every structure. Their intellect was in service to the city's tangible growth. Imagine a scholar's home, with its thick mud walls, and on the rooftop, perhaps an early form of a telescope. Inside, young scribes, apprentices really diligently copy manuscripts, ensuring the continuity of knowledge. And in the distance, the majestic Niger River glimmering faintly under the night sky. Ritual and learning in Djenne were deeply intertwined. Certain evenings saw scholars invoking quiet blessings for the workers toiling below, chanting softly so that the kiln fires would be gentle and the mud remain perfectly pliable. They truly believed that knowledge wasn't just a tool for the intellect. It was also a powerful conduit for harmony. This sacred balance ensured that the city's physical construction and its scholarly pursuits advanced hand in hand, a testament to a holistic approach to life. Even though social life within these scholarly walls might seem cloistered, it was far from dull. It was incredibly lively. Guests would discuss fascinating tales brought by foreign travelers, chart the movements of merchants along the bustling Niger, and eagerly debate new innovations filtering in from legendary Timbuktu. Ideas flowed like the river currents, occasionally clashing in vigorous debate, sometimes merging into powerful new insights, but always leaving behind a rich sediment of wisdom, enriching everyone present. The elite scholars weren't confined to their books. They also observed the broader rhythms of the city from their elevated terraces. From these vantage points, they could watch the floodplains of the Niger rise and fall with the seasons, see workers moving methodically across scaffolds, and witness the markets glowing faintly as dusk settled over Djenne. They understood a profound truth. Their privilege and their pursuit of knowledge were inextricably linked to the labor of many. They knew that the very survival of knowledge itself depended on a delicate balance between effort and leisure, between rigorous study and purposeful action. It was a symbiotic relationship. Let's take another moment. The stars shimmer brightly above now. The distant sounds of the Bonny River drift in on the gentle breeze. Let's breathe slowly, allowing the quiet diligence of these extraordinary scholars to settle around us, soft and grounding, like the very clay of Djenne. Even during moments of leisure, instruction remained a constant, gentle presence. Storytelling evenings often seamlessly merged with astronomy lessons, and poetry frequently contained hidden mathematical patterns or encoded historical truths passed down through generations. Children of the elite learned early to observe carefully, to deeply respect the hands that physically built the city, and to truly understand that intellect was a profound form of service, just as sacred as the labor that shaped mud into magnificent monuments. They were taught to see the interconnectedness of everything. The very rhythm of these homes, part intense study, part quiet reflection, part sacred ritual, mirrored the entire city's heartbeat. It was a delicate, intricate dance between permanence and impermanence, echoing the ancient lessons of Djenne. That cities rise and fall, mud softens with time, rivers flood and recede, yet knowledge, when carefully recorded and cherished deeply, has the power to endure through the ages. It's a powerful thought, isn't it? As the night waned, these quiet celebrations continued. Shared meals, whispered recitations of ancient texts, and sometimes a sudden, joyful burst of laughter cutting through the scholarly quiet. Scholars would eventually retire to their sleeping mats, their fingers perhaps ink-stained, their hearts heavy with deep thought, yet light with the profound satisfaction of a day well spent in the pursuit of wisdom. Knowledge had been shared, observations meticulously recorded, and the sacred lineage of learning preserved, ready for the dawn of a new day. Let's pause for one last moment. The city now sleeps soundly, lanterns dim to embers. The bonny river murmurs softly below, as if carrying the wisdom of generations through Djenne's clay streets and across its vast floodplains, a silent testament to enduring knowledge. Thus, life in a Djenne scholar's home was never about mere opulence or luxury. It was about profound stewardship, the stewardship of knowledge, the stewardship of tradition, and the delicate balance required between human effort and the powerful forces of nature. And through these incredible homes, the tireless labor of countless kiln workers and artisans was not just appreciated. It was honored, remembered, and transformed into an enduring wisdom, a legacy passed down for all who would come after. What an amazing way to live and learn. Imagine dawn breaking over Djenne. The sun, a fiery orb, is already climbing high, painting the sky with hues of orange and gold. But this isn't just any morning. It's the beginning of another grueling day for the kiln workers, the unsung heroes who breathed life into the city's mud-walled wonders. As they emerge from their humble quarters, baskets of clay and straw swing rhythmically by their sides. This isn't just dirt. It's the very lifeblood of Djenne. Each brick they carry, each lump of clay they prepare, holds immense potential. It's a single, vital element that, once fired and transformed, will join thousands of others to form the towering, majestic walls of the great mosque. This isn't just construction. It's a profound act of creation, a testament to faith and community. By the end of our journey today, you'll gain a profound understanding of the sheer peril and unwavering discipline these kiln workers faced daily. Their bodies weren't just vessels, they were finely tuned instruments of endurance. Their minds, sharpened by the relentless rhythms of fire, mud, and air. Every movement was precise, every decision critical. A single misstep could spell disaster, collapse, a life-altering injury, or even worse. Yet, they moved with an almost ethereal grace, balancing on narrow scaffolds that swayed precariously over the drying clay below. It's a dance between danger and precision, a ballet of survival. The kilns themselves were like living, breathing beasts. They hissed and snapped, roaring to life as the intense heat radiated outwards, pressing against the workers' skin. You could almost feel their fiery breath. Those who misjudged the delicate placement of the clay bricks often found themselves scorched, or worse, trapped beneath crumbling mud as the structures shifted. These fires weren't just heat sources, they were demanding masters. To cool, and the precious bricks would crack under the brutal desert sun, rendering them useless. Too hot, and they would melt into a formless ruin, all that hard work lost in an instant. And then there were the legends. Whispers circulated among the workers, hushed tales of cursed clay. Bricks, they believed, that carried the spirits of past builders, vengeful and unforgiving if handled without proper respect. Elders recounted chilling stories of men who dared to ignore the ancient rituals of purification, only to witness scaffolds mysteriously collapse or kilns inexplicably explode. It was as if the very clay itself, imbued with ancient power, was punishing their hubris. Imagine the weight of that superstition added to the already immense physical demands. Let's pause for a moment. Feel the ancient rhythm. The kiln roars softly in the background, a steady pulse. Embers glow like distant stars against the twilight. The workers, for a brief moment, breathe deeply, feeling the undeniable pulse of the city through the sweat on their skin. It's a connection deeper than just labor. It's a shared heartbeat. Despite the ever-present danger, the work demanded an almost superhuman level of coordination. It wasn't a solo act. It was a symphony of labor. Teams toiled in precise rotation, some meticulously molding and shaping the wet clay, others carefully transporting the fragile creations, while a select few, the firekeepers, tended to the inferno that would transform raw earth into steadfast brick. The rhythmic cadence of their labor was punctuated by the sharp shouts of foremen, directing, encouraging, correcting, and occasionally a distant clap of thunder would rumble across the sky, a stark reminder that even nature itself seemed to watch this sacred enterprise, a witness to their devotion. Imagine the hands of these artisans, strong, calloused, yet incredibly dexterous, molding the wet clay with a delicate touch, shaping it into the perfect form. The kiln flames lick hungrily at the air, a mesmerizing dance of orange and red. Workers, seeking fleeting respite, huddle in the meager shade offered by woven mats, their faces streaked with dirt and sweat, but their eyes burning with determination. These bricks carried so much more than just earth. They carried the prayers and the hopes of an entire city. Every single layer added to the mosque's magnificent walls was an offering, a profound statement of faith in the enduring spirit of community, religion, and culture. As they shaped the clay, workers would whisper to it, a fascinating blend of devotion and ancient superstition. They'd ask for protection from the relentless sun, from the crippling fatigue, from the sudden, tragic accidents that could steal a life in an instant. It was a partnership, a conversation between humanity and the earth itself. The midday sun was absolutely relentless. It beat down mercilessly, a golden hammer striking the earth. Heat stroke was a constant, terrifying threat, claiming those who dared to underestimate the kiln's unforgiving wrath. Water, incredibly scarce and unbelievably precious, was shared in tiny sips, each drop a lifeline in the scorching heat. Shadows were fleeting, almost non-existent, offering little comfort. The workers learned to measure their own bodies against the brutal rhythm of the sun, balancing rest and exertion with the innate skill of those intrinsically attuned to the very pulse of their city. It was a daily negotiation for survival. Even evening brought little true relief. The colossal kilns cooled at an agonizingly slow pace, continuing to release waves of intense heat long after the sun had mercifully sunk below the horizon, painting the Niger River in deep purples and blues. The men and women, utterly spent, returned to their simple mats, muscles stiff and aching, their lungs heavy with the day's dust. They listened to the soft, comforting whisper of mud settling against mud, the gentle creaking of the newly built brick walls, and the occasional, almost mournful sigh of the mighty river nearby. Stories of the legendary blind builder and cautionary tales of past disasters circulated like lullabies, ensuring that the vital lessons of caution were not forgotten, even in their dreams. Through all this unimaginable toil, the workers' artistry shone brightly, undeniably. Each brick, meticulously molded and perfectly fired, contributed directly to one of the most magnificent and enduring earthen structures in all of West Africa. The mosque wasn't just a building. It was an awe-inspiring testament to human endurance, communal discipline, and the profound, mysterious dialogue between earth, fire, and the indomitable human spirit. It's a living monument to their dedication. Let's pause for one final moment. The night falls softly now, blanketing the land. The kiln embers flicker gently in the deepening darkness, like tiny, winking eyes, and the city itself exhales, a gentle, rhythmic breath carrying the echoes and memories of a day filled to the brim with back-breaking labor, ever-present danger, and breathtaking creation. Imagine a city rising from the earth, shaped by hands, mud, and ancient wisdom. Now, imagine one of its greatest architects, a man whose hands knew every curve and contour, every subtle shift of the material, but whose eyes could no longer see. This isn't just a legend. It's the profound story of Djenne's blind builder. Some tales say his sight faded in his youth, others that it was a trial sent by the mystical spirits of the Niger River itself. But whatever the cause, his blindness didn't cripple his spirit or dull his incredible mind. In fact, it sharpened everything else. Every curve, every corner, every majestic line of Djenne's iconic skyline bears the imprint of someone who measured not with sight, but with touch, with profound intuition, and with an astonishing memory. It's like he had an internal blueprint, more detailed than anything drawn on parchment. While other artisans relied on their vision, this blind builder relied on a symphony of senses. He listened to the soft cadence of the wind whispering against the towering scaffolds, felt the subtle vibrations of each brick settling into place, and understood the murmurs of his apprentices as they guided his hands. He could see the entire city through sound and sensation. He knew instinctively where a wall might bow, where the sacred mud might crumble, and precisely how each massive layer of the Grand Mosque could bear the immense weight of the next. He truly was a maestro, conducting an orchestra of earth and ingenuity. The stories about him are truly breathtaking. Legends say he would whisper to each brick as he worked, speaking its name, invoking the ancestors to guide his hands as he carefully placed it. Some even claimed that the bricks themselves seemed to tremble with respect, settling more firmly into place when touched by his palms. Others whispered that ancient spirits aided him, granting him a vision not of the eyes, but of the very earth and sky, teaching him the sacred geometry that would allow these incredible structures to endure for centuries. Can you imagine the awe of the workers around him? Despite his blindness, this remarkable man would climb scaffolds higher than any apprentice dared, a true testament to his unwavering courage. His staff tapped rhythmically against the wood and mud, its steady echo resounding across the entire construction site. Workers followed that sound, trusting his every step as they would trust the direction of the wind itself. He became the very heartbeat of the project, a silent observer whose profound judgments shaped magnificent walls, soaring towers, and graceful minarets that still stand proudly today. His presence alone was a guiding force. Let's just pause for a moment and really feel this. Picture the scene. The river glimmers under the soft moonlight, a gentle breeze carries the earthy scent of wet clay, and the blind builder rests, his palms on a freshly molded brick, feeling its warmth, its promise, a silent dialogue between man and material. It's a powerful image of connection. His influence, however, extended far beyond just the mosque. Apprentices learned from him to trust senses beyond mere sight, developing their own profound sense of touch, incredibly sharp hearing, and deep intuition. The city itself seemed to subtly adjust to his presence. Streets were aligned with the mesmerizing sound of the call to prayer. Homes were built with those beautiful, subtle curves, reflecting the very contours he imagined within his mind. Every single structure in Djenne seemed to bear his invisible signature, a powerful testament to human adaptability and the incredible triumph of the spirit over any physical limitation. He taught them all a new way to perceive the world. They say his most remarkable work, a true masterpiece, was the great mosque's minaret, a slender finger reaching majestically towards the heavens. He guided its construction entirely by sound and by touch, listening intently to the subtle settling of the mud, feeling the strain on the wooden supports as they took the weight. When it was finally completed, that minaret stood and still stands, resilient against the fiercest winds, the heaviest rains, and a scorching Malian sun, an eternal testament to his unparalleled genius. It's a silent, towering monument to what the human spirit can achieve. The story of this extraordinary blind builder spread like wildfire across the whole of Mali, carried by tireless merchants, awestruck travelers, and mesmerizing storytellers. He became both myth and manna, living, breathing proof that the perceived limitations of the body could be utterly overcome by the sheer strength of spirit and intellect. Young artisans across the land aspired to touch his incredible legacy, learning that true mastery lay not just in physical skill, but in the profound ability to feel the very soul of the materials, to understand the ancient rhythm of labor, and to truly feel the vibrant pulse of the city itself. He changed how an entire generation approached their craft. Let's pause once more. Imagine the evening wind whispering across the Nile-sourced clay, carrying the incredible tales of the blind builder to every single corner of Djenne, while countless stars glitter like scattered embers above the magnificent mosque he so expertly helped shape. It's a moment of profound beauty and reflection. By honoring both timeless tradition and profound intuition, the blind builder reminded everyone who labored in Djenne that true creation is not only an act of skilled hands, but also deeply rooted in the heart, in cherished memory, and in the art of listening deeply to the materials that seem to speak in silence. Every single brick he touched became a lesson, a story, a silent whisper of perseverance intended for generations yet to come. His legacy is literally built into the very fabric of the city. The legend of Djenne's blind builder teaches us so much: patience, humility, and a deep reverence for true craft. Sight, it seems, was merely one way to perceive the intricate wonders of the world. This blind builder's hands, guided by a mind so attuned to the very breath of the city, created monuments that have endured for centuries, carrying within them the powerful memory of those who shaped them with unmatched courage, unwavering faith, and an unyielding dedication. It is a story that inspires us all to look beyond what we think we know and discover the extraordinary within ourselves. Imagine a bustling metropolis, older than many of the world's most enduring religions, a city that thrived for centuries, only to be swallowed by the very lifeblood that sustained it. We're talking about Djenne, a name that echoes with history, a city buried by time, yet still whispering its secrets from beneath the earth and along the winding Niger River. Long before the magnificent Great Mosque of Djenne pierced the sky, before minarets became iconic landmarks, Djenne stood tall. Its walls, crafted from sun-dried clay, shimmered with an amber glow in the morning light. Picture this: a vibrant hub where merchants traded exotic goods, farmers brought in their harvest, and skilled artisans meticulously crafted their wares. The streets hummed with activity, filled with the daily rhythms of life. and you can almost hear the joyful shouts of children playing, their laughter echoing between the bustling homes. It was a place of innovation, community, and thriving culture, a true marvel of its era. But time, as we know, is a patient force, and rivers, though life-giving, can be relentless. Slowly but surely, the seasonal floods of the Niger began their inexorable reclaim. Year after year, the waters crept higher, seeping over the sturdy mud walls, softening the foundations, and eroding the very ground beneath the city's feet. Century after century, the river deposited layers of water and sediment, a slow, natural burial, until Djenne's streets and homes were completely submerged, hidden from view. It became a ghost beneath the riverbanks, a legend whispered among generations, its physical presence only hinted at by the footprints of intrepid archaeologists and the evocative tales of griots, the traditional storytellers who kept history alive. It's a poignant reminder of nature's power, isn't it? Yet, even as Djenne vanished from sight, its spirit continued to live on, meticulously preserved in the collective memory of the people who settled the nearby area. The future inhabitants of Djenne, they remembered their ancestors' city through stories passed down under the starlit African sky, tales shared around crackling fires. They spoke of grand, open plazas where communities gathered, and bustling marketplaces overflowing with goods and lively exchanges. They vividly described the intricate patterns adorning the clay walls, symbols that held deep meaning, and of wise priests who walked the streets, carrying sacred scrolls filled with ancient wisdom. Even as Djenne sank deeper into the earth, its memory acted as a blueprint, profoundly shaping the builders and laborers of the new city. It guided the very molds used for bricks, inspired the elegant angles of roofs, and influenced the rhythmic precision of construction. The old city, though hidden, was undeniably the silent architect of the new. It's truly incredible to think about. Eventually, archaeologists would arrive, painstakingly unearthing fragments of this submerged past. They uncovered shards of pottery, remnants of sturdy walls, and the faint, ghostly outlines of ancient streets. Each discovery revealing more about a civilization that was both remarkably resilient and inherently fragile. But perhaps the greatest discovery wasn't in the tangible artifacts themselves, but in the stories that accompanied them. How the living profoundly honored their dead city, building not just with clay and mortar, but with unwavering remembrance. It highlights a powerful human connection to history and ancestry. Let's just pause for a moment and really absorb this. Imagine the scene. The river gently whispers its ancient secrets to the tall, swaying palm trees. The wind, ever a storyteller, carries faint, almost imperceptible echoes of a long-vanished marketplace. And as the sun slowly dips below the horizon, it casts its golden light over a skyline that still, unmistakably, bears the indelible imprint of a world that once was. A world that refuses to be truly forgotten. The oral traditions tell us even more. There's a legend of a blind builder, a master craftsman, who was said to possess an extraordinary connection to the past. He would listen intently to the echoes of Djenne, feeling the subtle rhythms of its submerged streets beneath his sensitive fingertips as he meticulously molded new bricks for the growing city of Kiln. It's a beautiful metaphor, isn't it? The old city, though physically hidden beneath layers of soil and river, continued to guide hands and hearts, its wisdom imprinted on the very fabric of the new settlement. Every wall, every elegant arch, every towering minaret that rose above ground carried within it a memory of those streets that no longer existed. A powerful testament to both resilience and profound reverence. And the legends don't stop there. People say that spirits still linger in the rich, fertile mud ancient guardians of knowledge, silent keepers of the city's once thriving commerce, and wise observers of human endeavor. They are said to whisper to those who are willing to listen, offering guidance in the careful selection of brick and mortar, ensuring that the incredible legacy of Djenne would not only survive but thrive in Djenne's iconic skyline. It's a deeply spiritual connection to place and history. Even with the arrival of Islam, bringing with it a new faith and an entirely new architectural aesthetic, the enduring spirit of the old city persisted. Its profound influence can still be observed in the distinctive street patterns of Djenne, in the ingrained tradition of communal labor for building, and in the vibrant rhythm of festivals and daily prayers that honor both the storied past and the unfolding present. Djenne, you see, wasn't truly gone. It had simply submerged, patiently waiting to resurface in the compelling stories told, the cherished memories shared, and the skilled touch of hands that continued its ancient craft. It's a powerful narrative of cultural continuity. So, let's pause again for a moment. As dusk gently settles over the riverbanks, you can almost visualize the ethereal shadows of the ancient city flickering beneath the water's surface. And from a distance, the faint, rhythmic sound of drums carries the very heartbeat of a civilization that, against all odds, adamantly refuses to be forgotten. It's a timeless beat, a connection across centuries. The submerged city of Djenne truly teaches us a profound lesson in endurance. It reminds us that even when robust clay walls eventually crumble, even when powerful rivers threaten to sweep the past away, memory and culture possess an extraordinary capacity to persist, to adapt, and to continuously evolve. Djenne's ancient streets may no longer host bustling merchants and playful children, but in the dedicated hands of those who continue to build and those who passionately tell its stories, it absolutely lives on, guiding, shaping, and inspiring, just as it did countless centuries ago. Its influence is a living, breathing legacy. And so, the incredible story of Djenne isn't found in dusty old maps or official government records. Instead, it resides vibrantly in the hearts and minds of those who lovingly carry its memory in every single brick carefully fired at the kiln, in every majestic minaret that proudly rises, and in every hushed tale whispered under the vast starlit African sky. It's a testament to the power of human connection, cultural resilience, and the enduring spirit of a truly remarkable place. Let's head into the ancient city of Djenne, not to its bustling markets or grand mosques, but deep inside its scholarly homes. Get ready for a journey into a world where manuscript parties and rooftop astronomy weren't just pastimes, but the very pulse of intellectual life. Imagine this: above the vibrant, often loud, streets of Djenne, behind those iconic carved wooden doors and towering mud brick walls, a completely different universe unfolded. These weren't just houses. They were true sanctuaries of knowledge. Step inside, and the air itself felt different. You'd detach the delicate scent of aged parchment mingling with the earthy aroma of fresh clay and the comforting hint of smoke from a cooking fire. It was a sensory experience unique to these spaces. Within these hallowed walls, under the soft, golden glow of oil lamps, lay rows upon rows of priceless manuscripts. Some were bound in rich, supple leather, their covers telling tales of faraway lands. Others were breathtakingly adorned with intricate inked illustrations, not just pretty pictures, but detailed guides to the heavens, the mysteries of the earth, and the profound depths of the human spirit. These weren't just books, they were portals to understanding the universe. The elite families of Djenne weren't just concerned with trade routes or political power plays. Oh no, they were fierce patrons of learning, creating gatherings that were less about social climbing and more about profound intellectual immersion. Picture this: they'd come together not just to discuss market prices or diplomacy, but to lose themselves in the beauty of poetry, the precision of astronomy, and the deep questions of philosophy. These weren't loud, boisterous events. Instead, these manuscript parties were a quiet revolution of thought, unfolding in hushed reverence. Scholars, with voices rich with wisdom, would read aloud from these precious texts. And these weren't just local texts. They were imports from the legendary libraries of Timbuktu, the intellectual hubs of Cairo, and far beyond. Their voices would rise and fall with the natural rhythm of the language, creating a captivating melody that filled the rooms. And it wasn't just the adults who were captivated. Even the youngest children, their eyes wide with wonder, would sit and listen intently, absorbing lessons that would subtly but powerfully shape the future of their city for generations to come. Imagine the quiet power of those moments, the seeds of wisdom being planted in young minds. But the pursuit of knowledge didn't stop once the sun set. At night, as the city grew quiet, these dedicated scholars would ascend to the rooftops of their homes. These weren't just any rooftops. They were layered with sun-baked clay tiles, still radiating the day's warmth. Up they would climb, telescopes and astrolabes carefully clutched in their hands. Above Djenne, the stars weren't just sparkling points of light. They were living, breathing entities, stories, gods, and vital guides. Astronomers, with an almost childlike excitement, would meticulously chart constellations, not just for wonder, but for incredibly practical reasons. These celestial maps helped them track the changing seasons, determine the perfect timing for planting crops, and even understand the mysterious flow of the mighty Niger River. You could almost hear their whispered calculations and hushed hypotheses, their excitement barely contained. They knew, deep down, that each new insight, every tiny discovery, was another precious link to the timeless wisdom of their ancestors. These rooftop gatherings were also significant social events, because in Djenne, knowledge and prestige were deeply intertwined. Families would proudly host revered poets, skilled musicians, and visiting scholars from other intellectual centers, creating an incredible network of brilliant minds that stretched across the entire region. The scholar's home wasn't just a dwelling. It became a vital node, a central hub where groundbreaking ideas were exchanged. Passionate debates were conducted with grace, and the rich tapestry of culture was meticulously preserved. Imagine conversations about distant celestial patterns seamlessly blending with discussions of local governance, the latest trade agreements, and delicate diplomacy. Let's just pause for a moment and really soak this in. Can you almost feel it? The gentle night wind brushes softly across those sun-warmed clay roofs, carrying with it the faint, refreshing scent of the river. Perhaps even the distant, rhythmic thrum of drums from a celebration nearby. And above it all, the ancient stars, silent and majestic, quietly observe the scholar's profound contemplations. What a powerful image, right? Beyond the inner sanctums of study rooms and the stargazing rooftops, even the courtyards of these homes hummed with a quiet energy. Especially in preparation for the evening's gatherings, young students and eager apprentices moved with a hushed reverence, their footsteps barely disturbing the air. They'd meticulously bring ink, fine sand for blotting, and fresh parchment, carefully preparing the tools of scholarship. In the moonlight, water basins shimmered softly, ready for mixing vibrant pigments for illuminations. Even the cats that gracefully prowled the alleys, with their silent, watchful eyes, seemed acutely aware of the hushed reverence that permeated these spaces, stepping lightly across the beautifully patterned tiles. It's crucial to remember that in these elite spaces, the visible signs of the laborer's sweat, the heat of the kilns, the bustle of the marketplace below were rarely seen. Yet, it was precisely that tireless work that formed the absolutely essential foundation upon which this vibrant scholarship thrived. The scholars, with all their lofty intellectual pursuits, depended entirely on the skilled craftsmen and artisans. Their meticulous work on every sun-dried brick, every carefully crafted window, every sturdy roof, created the safe, inspiring havens where minds could truly flourish. Think about it. Every intricately carved door, every perfectly laid tiled rooftop, and every fire-heated kiln was a silent, unsung partner in the life of the mind. And the festivals held in these scholars' homes. Oh, they were extraordinary. They weren't just parties. They were vibrant fusions of devotion, dazzling intellectual display, and pure entertainment. Musicians would carefully tune the strings of their kora and ready their percussion instruments, filling the air with anticipation. Poets, with their eloquent voices, would recite captivating tales of Mali's glorious past, tracing its history from the venerable empire of Ghana all the way to the epic rise of Mali under the legendary Mansa Musa. These events were far more than mere performances. They were profound acts of pedagogy, teaching both the young and the old the enduring value of history, the wonders of astronomy, and the transcendent power of the arts. They were living history lessons, brought to life with passion and skill. Even mealtimes in these homes were ingeniously woven into the fabric of education. Dishes weren't just served. They were presented with a ceremonial precision, often accompanied by fascinating stories detailing their origin and cultural significance. Guests learned not just to taste the delicious flavors, but to truly understand them. They absorbed lessons about the intricate trade networks that brought exotic spices, life-sustaining grains, and precious palm oil, seamlessly connecting Djenne to far-flung distant lands. The rhythmic act of eating, the attentive listening to stories, and the quiet contemplation all combined to create a profound harmony that truly reflected the very soul of the city. Let's just pause for another moment. The night deepens further now, a blanket of stars above. In the distance, the mighty Niger River glimmers softly under the moon's gentle gaze, a silent witness to centuries of life. And from the scholar's courtyard, the murmur of voices, laughter, and perhaps a distant kora floats gently into the warm evening air, a symphony of learning and life. Crucially, the scholar's home was also a sacred place of mentorship. Young apprentices, often starting at a very tender age, learned the fundamental skills of reading, writing, and calculation. This vital education often unfolded under the patient, watchful guidance of elders who had themselves spent decades, even a lifetime, immersed in dedicated study. Knowledge wasn't just handed down. It was carefully, lovingly passed on, each lesson intricately layered with profound moral, cultural, and spiritual meaning. The young were constantly reminded that their rich heritage was as much a weighty responsibility as it was an incredible privilege. They understood that their learning carried not just facts, but the immense weight of a precious legacy. In this extraordinary environment, scholarship was utterly inseparable from ethics, from civic responsibility, and from deep spirituality. The elite of Djenne understood something profound. The breathtaking beauty of their architecture, the dynamic flow of their commerce, and the precise accuracy of their astronomy were not merely ends in themselves. Oh no, they were seen as powerful reflections of a deeper harmony, a perfect balance between diligent human effort and the grand, natural order of the universe. Their lives, though perhaps appearing insulated within their mud brick walls, resonated deeply with the arduous labor, the cherished memory, and the soaring aspirations of the entire city, from its humblest worker to its most celebrated scholar. And so, as the night quietly passed, it was filled with the soft murmur of quiet discussions, the careful scratching of calculations on parchment, and the gentle, knowing sound of laughter. Ideas mingled freely with the fragrant incense smoke that drifted through the air. The ancient stars, ever watchful, observed these profound gatherings, and the sturdy clay walls, standing strong for centuries, held secrets even older than the city itself. In Djenne, the scholar's home was more than just a building. It was a revered sanctuary of thought and tradition, a place where knowledge was not just valued, but deeply revered and meticulously preserved, ensuring that the hard-won wisdom of the past would continue to illuminate the present and brightly guide the future. Just imagine that moonlit rooftop one last time. The scholars and students, their faces upturned, gazing in wonder at the vast, star-studded sky. The ancient clay walls, lined with manuscripts, seemed to glow softly in the pale moonlight, silent guardians of centuries of thought. It's truly a powerful image, isn't it? Let us explore a side of Djenne that often goes uncelebrated but was absolutely foundational to its success. The profound influence of its scholars. Get ready, because what these brilliant minds achieved is truly astounding. As the first stars began to twinkle in the dusky sky over Djenne, the city's courtyards came alive, but not with boisterous markets. Instead, you'd find subtle negotiations and hushed, important conversations unfolding. The scholars of Djenne weren't just dusty old men hidden away with ancient texts. Oh no, they were much, much more. They were the city's trusted advisors, shrewd diplomats, and the ultimate arbiters of culture and justice. Imagine that. Traders, local leaders, and even visiting dignitaries from far-off lands actively sought their counsel. It was in these very courtyards, under the soft, flickering glow of oil lamps, that figures would lean in close, exchanging words that held immense weight. These discussions weren't just small talk. They could influence vast trade routes, settle complex disputes between powerful families, or even determine how the city's precious resources were allocated. Every word mattered, every gesture observed. Can you picture it? These open-air rooms, rich with the earthy scent of clay, the subtle perfume of palm fronds, and the exotic aroma of incense. Here, knowledge flowed as freely as the Niger River itself. Decisions were never rushed. They were measured, carefully considered, and debated with intellectual vigor. Think about it. Every nod, every subtle emphasis on a word carried profound weight. Why? Because a single miscalculation could send ripples of consequence across Djenne's bustling markets and far beyond its walls. These courtyards, with their beautiful patterned tiles and the gentle murmur of quiet fountains, were truly arenas of diplomacy, where wisdom and tact were considered just as valuable as the finest gold or the richest grain. But the scholar's influence didn't stop at ground level. Oh no, above these lively courtyards, on the very rooftops of Djenne, a different kind of council was taking place. Here, the city's brilliant astronomers and philosophers gathered, their eyes fixed on the heavens. They observed the stars and planets with incredible precision, tracing the celestial patterns that would ultimately dictate the critical planting and harvesting seasons for the entire region. They meticulously mapped the heavens, understanding with deep conviction that celestial movements guided everything from the flow of the rivers to the timing of the essential rains, and most crucially, the success of the crops that fed the thriving city below. Their incredibly precise observations weren't shouted from the rooftops. They were discreetly shared with merchants and rulers, creating a powerful, invisible link between profound celestial knowledge and the very practical, everyday needs of the population. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. This blending of pure scholarship and practical governance was subtle, yes, but its impact was absolutely profound. A rooftop observation about a comet could lead to a major market decision. A complex calculation of the stars could directly influence the precise timing of a crucial Caravan-S departure, ensuring its safe and prosperous journey. In Djenne, knowledge truly was power, but it was wielded with a remarkable sense of humility. The scholars were always mindful that the city's well-being ultimately depended on the hard work of its laborers, the shrewdness of its traders, and the skill of its artisans, all whose lives were intricately intertwined with the heavens above. It's a beautiful vision of interconnectedness. Let's just pause for a moment, shall we? Imagine this with me. The gentle evening breeze rustles through the palm leaves, carrying the faint, soothing sound of river waters. Meanwhile, on the rooftops, scholars whisper intently under the vast night sky, their fingers tracing the ancient, luminous paths of distant stars. What an image! Now, courtyard diplomacy wasn't always about formal, stiff discussions. It was also a vibrant stage for forging subtle alliances and for quiet, yet critical, observation. Visitors to Djenne, no matter their status, were always welcomed with generous food and refreshing drink. But make no mistake, their every gesture, every nuance, was carefully noted by the discerning scholars. These wise individuals had an uncanny ability to assess character, to test patience, and to measure intentions with remarkable accuracy. In this delicate, intricate dance of social interaction, the scholars' profound wisdom ensured that potential disputes were skillfully averted, that trade continued to flourish unimpeded, and that the city's precious harmony remained beautifully intact. These elite homes weren't just centers of political and economic negotiation. They were also vibrant hubs of cultural exchange. Musicians would carefully tune their instruments, their melodies weaving through the night. Gifted storytellers would captivate audiences with ancient epics, their voices echoing through the courtyards. Poets would engage in gentle, yet spirited, contests of wit and memory, their verses sparkling under the moonlight. These vibrant gatherings served as a powerful reminder to everyone present that governance, trade, and scholarship were absolutely inseparable from the beauty of art, the power of music, and the richness of narrative. It was a holistic view of life, where everything was connected. And as these cultural events unfolded, you could almost imagine the stars above listening intently, echoing the rhythm of the drums and the graceful cadence of spoken verse. As the Djenne night deepened, an even more profound level of learning unfolded on the rooftops. Here, astronomy seamlessly merged with deep philosophy and ethical teachings, creating an intricate tapestry of knowledge that guided both public and private life. Young apprentices, eager to learn, were taught not only how to interpret the complex patterns of the skies, but also, crucially, how to understand their vital role in sustaining the city's moral and civic order. Every single lesson was a powerful thread, carefully connecting the invaluable wisdom of the past with the immense responsibility of the future. It's a remarkable model for education, isn't it? Even amidst these quiet, profound revelations, the scholars never, ever forgot the bustling city below them. They were constantly sending messages, arranging crucial meetings, and mediating conflicts, ensuring that their vast knowledge served not only the mind, but the entire community. Their influence extended through invisible yet incredibly effective channels, subtly shaping the lives of artisans, traders, and leaders alike. This reinforced a powerful culture where intellect, morality, and duty were seen as absolutely inseparable. They understood that true wisdom had to be applied to the betterment of all. Let us just take another moment to absorb this incredible picture. The unique scent of clay and ink mingles delicately in the cool night air. The gentle murmur of the majestic Niger River floats upward, a constant lullaby for the city. And above it all, the countless stars stand as silent, ancient witnesses to the scholars' deep deliberations and their ambitious dreams for Djenne. In this delicate yet powerful balance between observation and action, the scholar's home became a true microcosm of Djenne itself. Every decision made, every insight gained, every whispered revelation contributed directly to the vibrant heartbeat of the city. Knowledge was not hoarded away selfishly. Instead, it was openly shared, carefully nurtured, and brilliantly applied in ways that honored ancient tradition while bravely embracing innovation. This blend allowed Djenne to thrive for centuries, as the first faint hints of dawn began to paint the eastern sky. The scholars would gracefully descend from their rooftops, their precious manuscripts tucked carefully under their arms, their telescopes and astrolabes meticulously stored away. They returned to the courtyards, now quiet with slumbering lamps, ready to translate the celestial wisdom they had gathered into practical, tangible guidance for the waking city. Knowledge and observation, deep reflection, and astute diplomacy all were intricately intertwined in a powerful, enduring rhythm as old and timeless as Djenne itself. And so, the night would gently fade, leaving behind a city now perfectly prepared for the day ahead. A city guided not just by earthly wisdom, but by profound celestial insights. A place where every brick laid, every star observed, and every human effort was honored in the quiet, continuous flow of life. Isn't that an incredible testament to the power of knowledge and community? Djenne truly was a city unlike any other. As the sun now begins to climb over those iconic clay rooftops, painting them in a shimmering, golden light, we're going to dive deeper. We're going to explore not just the physical endurance, but the intellectual and cultural heart that made Djenne truly extraordinary. Imagine this with me: the clay roofs, baked hard by the sun and human effort, don't just offer shelter, they shimmer with the stories of generations, reflecting the enduring spirit of human labor and groundbreaking ingenuity. Within these very rooftops and the quiet courtyards below, scholars and elders would pause each morning. They'd reflect on the city's pulse, the tireless hands that had shaped every brick, every wall, and the powerful legacies left by those who had toiled in the kilns. They understood something profound. Knowledge wasn't just about how much you learned, but about finding a delicate balance, a humility and respect for every single person who sustained this vibrant city. In the quiet hush of these Djenne mornings, you could almost hear the echoes of the kiln workers' toil still lingering in the air. Every single brick baked, every scaffold raised against the rising walls, every drop of sweat shed carried with it the weight of countless untold stories. And remember the blind builder we talked about. He wasn't just a figure from the past. He remained an enduring symbol for the people of Djenne. His story whispered a powerful truth, that human limitation can absolutely coexist with the most extraordinary creativity. His spirit, they believed, still hovered over those courtyards, gently reminding everyone that true ingenuity must honor those who put in the hard work, and that no knowledge, however grand, could ever be truly pure without a deep reverence for the effort behind it all. Now, let's step inside some of those scholarly homes. Manuscripts, often centuries old, would be opened with the utmost care, their fragile pages whispering secrets. These weren't just dusty old books. They revealed an incredible blend of beautiful poetry, detailed history, and sharp technical observations. Here, the vital lessons of good governance were inseparable from the intricate celestial charts used to map the stars, or the precise architectural drawings for new structures. Everything was connected. Young apprentices, their eyes wide with awe and curiosity, would carefully trace the lines of bricks in ancient texts, or map the heavens above, listening intently to the elder voices that carried centuries of wisdom. Every story shared, every lesson taught, reinforced that unbreakable bond between knowledge and responsibility. Let's just pause for a moment here. Feel the soft morning breeze as it stirs the palm fronds. Listen carefully, and you might hear the distant Niger River whispering its age-old tales. These ancient clay walls, still standing strong, seem to hum with the memories of countless hands, countless lives, all shaping the very soul of this incredible city. It's a feeling of timelessness, of deep wisdom embedded in the very fabric of existence. You see, even though life for the elite scholars of Djenne came with its privileges, it certainly wasn't without its challenges, sometimes even peril. These scholars often found themselves mediating disputes, some of which could easily turn violent. Their counsel was sought on matters of great importance, advice that could sway entire markets or even change the course of leaders' decisions. They carried the quiet, yet immense, weight of expectation from their community. Yet, their wisdom wasn't just abstract thought. It was anchored firmly in keen observation, deep reflection, and a profound sense of duty to their city. Djenne's very survival, its continued flourishing, depended on their ability to expertly balance sharp intellect with genuine empathy and wield authority with true humility. It was a delicate dance, always mindful of the human element. From the quiet vantage point of those high terraces, you could see the entire city beginning to wake up and bustle below. Artisans would be carrying buckets of water, their steps rhythmic and steady. Traders were already opening their stalls, ready for the day's business. Children, full of youthful energy, would be racing along the narrow lanes, their laughter echoing off the clay walls. Every single movement you observed spoke volumes about resilience. Every gesture a continuation of a rhythm that had begun centuries ago in those very kilns. The elite scholars understood this deeply. Their contemplations, however lofty and philosophical, must always return to these bustling streets, these vibrant markets, and these incredible people whose daily lives gave all their knowledge true meaning. These rooftop reflections weren't just about the city below, though they also extended far, far beyond to the vast expanse of the stars above. Even as the sun began its ascent, astronomical charts were constantly being revisited, predictions meticulously recalculated, and the intricate patterns of the heavens carefully noted for the seasons to come. Knowledge, they understood, was cyclical, much like the tireless labor of the artisans and the ever-shifting flows of the mighty Niger River. The past deeply informed the present, and the present, in turn, guided the future. All of it under the watchful gaze of an enduring, celestial wisdom that connected everything. Let's take another moment, shall we? The city now hums with a gentle, purposeful activity. The river shimmers beautifully with the early morning light, reflecting the promise of a new day. And listen closely, you can almost hear the scholars murmuring softly, contemplating the incredible, intricate interweaving of human effort and the grand cosmic rhythm that orchestrates everything. It's a moment of profound peace and connection. Through all of this, the spirit of the clay itself endured. The powerful kilns, the countless bricks, the sturdy rooftops, and even the delicate manuscripts, they were all silent witnesses to generations of dedication, creativity, and perseverance. Every scholar, every artisan, and every apprentice, whether famous or unnamed, contributed a unique and essential verse to Djenne's ongoing, living story. It's a story woven with ingenuity, hard labor, keen observation, and deep reverence for life. Even as time relentlessly progressed, and mighty empires shifted and rose and fell, these profound stories preserved the very soul of the city. They served as a constant, powerful reminder to all who lived and learned here that true greatness doesn't arise from a single hand or a single mind, but from countless acts of care, deep wisdom, and shared effort working together in harmony. As the morning deepens and the sun climbs higher, these reflections naturally turn to legacy. How would this incredible city endure through the ages? How would these invaluable stories, these profound lessons, be preserved for future generations? The answers, they knew, lay not just in the tangible brick and clay, but in the crucial acts of teaching, in the importance of listening intently, and in the wisdom of guiding the next generation with care and purpose. Here, the elite didn't live in isolation, detached from their community. Instead, they existed in perpetual, vital connection to the laborers who built the city, to the vibrant markets that fed it, and to the essential rhythms of life that sustained the entire urban tapestry. They understood a fundamental truth: knowledge without action, reflection without engagement, was simply incomplete and ultimately hollow. And so, beneath those timeless clay roofs, wisdom breathed gently, interwoven with the poignant memories of toil, the beautiful poetry of learning, and the steady cadence of everyday life. Every thought considered, every lesson imparted, every keen observation made, reaffirmed that delicate yet strong balance of duty, boundless creativity, and profound reverence that defined Djenne. The city's pulse, though ancient, remained steady, incredibly resilient, and truly enduring. It was a living testament to humanity's ability to build, to learn, and to thrive. Today, we're wrapping up our incredible journey through the heart of Djenne. And as the sun now fully rises, it's scattering its first golden light across those iconic clay rooftops and winding streets. There's a quiet rhythm here, a pulse that's carried not just by kings or scholars, but by every single hand that has shaped this magnificent city. In this hush of the morning, if you listen closely, you can almost hear the whispers of the kiln workers, the careful instructions of the legendary blind builder, and the joyful laughter of children racing between the sun-warmed walls. It's truly a symphony of life and history. Let's just pause for a moment, take it all in. Feel that gentle breeze lifting lightly from the Niger River. It's stirring the palm fronds, carrying the faint, earthy scent of clay and history. The city breathes with you, almost as if each brick remembers its making, each rooftop its tireless construction. It's not just a collection of buildings. It's a living, breathing testament to generations of effort. Even in this stillness, the past isn't just present. It truly lingers. The sweat of the laborers, the ink of the scholars, the meticulous measurements of the builders, all of it converges into a quiet, enduring song. It's a powerful reminder that every achievement we see, every marvel, is deeply layered, built upon incredible effort, unwavering patience, and genuine care. To walk these streets, to feel the lingering heat of the kilns, is to literally touch the pulse of generations. It helps us understand that history isn't alive just in grand monuments, but in memory, in quiet reflection, and most powerfully, in our shared stories. What's truly fascinating about Djenne is how the distinction between laborer and scholar just softens. They're woven together by a shared, profound purpose: the kilns and the clay, the ancient scrolls and the keen observations. They all exist in such beautiful harmony, each supporting the other. Think about it. Just as the blind builder guided hands and hearts with his incredible wisdom, the scholars guided minds and morals. This incredible balance of creation and contemplation reminds us that every story, every piece of work, carries a weight far beyond its immediate form. It holds the values, the struggles, and the soaring dreams of everyone who came before us. Let's take another moment, shall we? Look out at the distant river, rippling gently under the morning sun. A soft breeze carries the city's quiet songs. Here, in Djenne, reflection isn't just a luxury. It's both an anchor, keeping us grounded in the past, and a powerful lens, allowing us to truly witness the immense labor, the profound devotion, and the sheer ingenuity that shaped this incredible place. It's a feeling that stays with you. As this day unfolds, the city's pulse continues, steady and enduring. You see scholars conferring quietly on the rooftops, artisans moving skillfully through the bustling markets, and children's laughter echoing through the narrow alleys. Yet, beneath all this vibrant activity, there's a deeper rhythm at play, the rhythm of legacy. Knowledge is passed down, essential skills are taught with care, and stories are retold, ensuring they live on. Every single act of labor, whether it's shaping clay, penning ink, or observing the world around them, becomes a vital thread in the enduring, intricate tapestry of this city. It's a masterpiece woven by countless hands. And so, as Djenne hums gently under the warmth of the day, we reminded that history isn't merely what we read in books or observe from a distance. It's what we feel deep in our hearts, what we can almost touch, and what we carry forward with us. The kilns may eventually cool, the ancient manuscripts may age with time, but the indomitable spirit of Djenne, its resilience, its boundless creativity, and its deep reverence for honest labor truly lives on. Every brick, every rooftop, every gentle whisper of the wind carries a story just waiting for us to hear it. Let's pause for one final moment together. See how those clay roofs glimmer in the sunlight. Hear the river murmuring softly beneath the bridges. The city exhales a quiet sigh. The memories of all those who labored, guided, and observed remain, vibrant and alive, just waiting for the next hands to shape them, the next eyes to see their beauty, and the next minds to truly understand their wisdom. And as our reflection on this incredible city gently fades, I hope this story settles deeply in your heart. The wisdom of Djenne, patient, enduring, and truly luminous, is now yours to carry forward. It reminds us all that every act of creation, every labor of love, leaves an indelible mark on the world, and that the beautiful echoes of history continue to live on in the quiet, wonderful rhythms of our daily lives. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey. If you've enjoyed exploring Djenne with me, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. You are under baobab skies.